everybody. It's the Coronacast, Quarantcast, whatever I want to say. I've got a very special guest with me this week. Last week was awesome with Joey Gentili being the first week. You can see the Quarantcast every Monday on my YouTube, which is Ray Hyclak. You can search Ray Hyclak, Hyclak, for that as well. And then follow me on Instagram, Facebook, across the board at Ray Hyclak, RayHyclak. And this is the Quarantcast. If you don't know what it is, we do an interview segment every time because I want to talk to my friends about the quarantine and just kind of bullshit because it's always good to have this kind of outlet. And thank God for your annual payments as well. We are now on Zoom, and we'll be doing some things with Zoom if we get some interest off of this for Patreon. So that'll be a good thing. My guest today is the lovely and great Human. I always say Human. And I will let him give you everything he does in the beginning of the show because it's so long I cannot name it all. But he is by his fireside right now, weighing in at 235 pounds, possibly. Bill the Hammer Stone. Bill, how are you, my friend?
What's up, Ray? Thank you for the 235-pound estimate. I'll take it any fucking day of the week.
You're shorter than me, so I always take height into account on that when I'm like, because I'm almost 210, maybe like that. I want to say probably about 215 right now in the quarantine.
I am actually, I believe, in the right around in the 250s.
Okay,
this is bad because I was in about a year and a half ago. I was in the 300s.
Oh yeah, you told me about all that stuff, and we're gonna get into that because I think people need to know who you are, especially you've been doing cooking videos on Facebook, like
yeah. And I just learned this with Zoom. I'm gonna share this with your audience.
Yes, and this is going out just pure no editing because then I can do these kind of things where I take people off, put them on, put myself on. This is the power of Zoom. I love it. Bill is out to lunch. Oh, no, your phone's frozen, my friend. Your phone is frozen.
My phone is frozen? Okay, yes. Can you see that?
We see you in a Star Wars T-shirt. It's like watching the movie Fanboys.
All right.
Oh, my. Nice. That is excellent.
That is a meatloaf bust of meatloaf. That I recently did for fun. It was supposed to be hauntingly horrible, and I think one of the best things I've made was this right here. Reveal, folks. You'll
dun, 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 dun. Bill Stone. There, that's a beautiful. That is gorgeous. Look at that. I mean, I wish I could bring my friend over for that. That looks beautiful. That's amazing.
That was lamb steak with baked potato and sauteed shrimp.
That sounds delicious. We're doing kebabs here at the house. Chicken kebabs, to be exact. My friend Shauna, who was my first person on this show ever, which you can see on the Side Angle Network Anchor page and her Spotify. Her office got shut down on St. Patrick's Day, and because they had someone's family member had it, and the person from Florida came up to the office where she works, and so they shut the offices down for they've still actually been down. She's been working from home for the past, I want to say, since St. Pat's, over a month now. And I left my mom's house because that's how good my comedy career is going. Because my brother lives there, so I'm immediately like, two's better than three in this situation. So I came here, and been here ever since. How's the home life been for you in all of this?
Not bad, actually. I mean, I work from home for my job.
Yeah.
We've been working. I've been working home since March 5th.
Okay.
So, basically, the week they announced that the kids were all out of school was the week my job said, "Hey, work from home." So
Okay.
I've been home the entire time. My oldest son works for City Hospital, so he's actually quarantining with my mother because they
Okay.
both work at the hospital together.
Oh yeah, I've heard you talk about that. That like you have your mom's in the medical field and all that kind of stuff. That must be strange, really, to have family members right now like that.
Yeah, they've like my son. I think he's been exposed like 3 times already.
Jesus Christ,
He
what
hasn't
kind of
got it.
has he? He hasn't gotten it yet.
Nope.
No, that's
I mean,
good.
he does food delivery for the hospital. So I
Okay.
asked him, I go, what are you just walking into the rooms at this point, just like throwing the trays at the patient and running like hell?
Ah, you have to though. I mean, it's man. Just it's
Every
almost like
delivery is like a pie fight.
10 banana cream pie.
But yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's an essential job, and but we all thought it was better that they hunkered down together for the time being.
Oh, for sure.
But my son was telling me today, and it's really cool with that. I guess what they've been doing at the hospital is every time somebody's on the recovering mend, they play "We Are the Champions," I guess, over the PA. My
Nice.
son's like, they've been playing it nonstop lately because a lot of people are getting better and bouncing back. I mean, obviously we're still losing people in
Yeah.
this, but people are being are resilient and fighting it. And shout out to my one of our other comic friends, Ray.
Yeah.
I believe he's got it.
Ray Roberts. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've been following his thing. Shout out to Ray Roberts real quick, you sexy bitch. The better of the two Rays in Northeast Ohio stand-up comedy for sure. And yeah, we've been following his thing. If you want to hit him up, he also runs what's the website he runs? I forget what the website.
Well, he has the podcast, the Classy Dinner podcast, and then he
Yeah.
has the guest spot.
That's it. The guest spot. It's sort of an onion website for stand-up comedy. If you're ever into something like that and want to read some funny articles by some funny people, that is a great thing to go and actually like see because you've done stuff for them. Yeah, I think you've done stuff, haven't you, or no?
I wrote a article for the guest spot about the COVID. Basically, well, I think it was about a week or so before all the quarantine stuff happened. I wrote a joking, obviously it's an Onion, it's a satire site. So
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a story about how a local comic came to a comedy club on open mic night, and because the owner let so many people show up to perform, that he gave the virus to the majority of the population of the comedy club, which caused that area's contingency of comics to completely thin out. And and then of course everything ends up getting shut down after that, and I'm like,
I was about to say I actually went to the Funny Stop the week before St. Patrick's Day, and it was a gloomy atmosphere just at Pete's place.
well, we were both there while I was there the last show before it closed down with John McClellan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I he was the guest for my very first Funny Stop podcast that we're doing now, which is it's a live podcast, and he was our first guy. And I got the episode up. It's the only episode we have because then afterwards just shit got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
But me and John joke about the fact that could be the last video that the two of us ever do.
Oh God, that's the one thing, man. I'm very optimistic, and I don't know how you are with this, but it's like I'm hoping that like the comedy scene just we all kind of just calm down. I like the idea, and like don't really do shows for probably until 2021, if we're being honest. That's how long I've
I'm
mentally.
actually doing. I'm actually doing a show via Zoom Thursday.
Okay, real quick, I'm gonna put the camera on you. Plug that real fast. Don't bury the lead, you son of a bitch.
Well, it's a charity event and it's going to be private, so I don't actually have.
Oh, okay. Then never mind, because I don't want to blow that spot up unless.
Yeah, I was brought on to do it. It's a paid gig, which I'm grateful for.
Good shit.
It's just it's one of those deals where it's like I just don't know how it's going to be because it's going to be like all ages.
Oh God.
I gotta be super clean.
Yeah, you can't do some of the stuff that you do at Pete's room, sir.
So
that's why I
did. I did come up with a clever one the other day. I was actually talking to Marv Connor.
Yeah.
And he asked me why I wasn't watching the NFL draft. And I jokingly said, and I just thought of it off the top of my head. I'm like, I'm not really concerned with football at this point because I don't know if we're actually going to have a season or not. But I go, to be honest, they already weren't letting the players touch each other to begin with.
Yeah. It's weird also. Do you know, like, find it funny that a virus breaks out and next year Cleveland gets the draft? Like, Cleveland next year is hosting the NFL draft and there's a huge virus out and nobody's playing football now. It's
Hey, would you say that the in the NFL that defenses and quarterbacks was the first social distancing?
No, that was what I call the Tom Brady rule. Anytime you did, like, Tom Brady and the referees always had their perfect amount of social distancing at thing. And when Bill is getting some firewood, yeah, firewood, keeping it burning while we're swinging. I feel like I should be singing some good songs, yeah, on the Quarantcast. Bill Stone. He's so goddamn awesome. Yeah, we have pyro. We have pyro on the Quarantcast. This is awesome. I love it. A wrestling fan I am.
Put a little fuel on the fire.
Fuck yeah. Why not, dude? It's part of the fun. This has been some of the most interesting times I've ever seen. I remember, and you can always say that, like, yeah, we had that thing of H1N1, all these kind of things. Our lives went on, but the only good part, and kind of gives me faith in humanity, and I want to ask you this question, is like seeing this whole thing kind of go through and seeing people kind of just go, yeah, for the sake of our families, we're going to make sure this virus doesn't spread. I like the fact that we all kind of hunkered down at some point. And even our state, Ohio, was one of the first ones to really just mitigate everything before, shit can get out of hand.
Oh, yeah. I think it's like, okay, I don't fault anybody for wanting normalcy again. Yeah. I'm not upset that people want to get back to normal lives, but all these people protesting and get, angry. I don't want to wear a mask. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I go out in the public now and it gets tiring, all the people who just walk around and don't give a crap.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care that you don't want to give a crap on your own end, but it's the people that you affect outside of that.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, and I'll admit, I haven't worn a mask out in public, but I don't really go anywhere to begin with. It's more, I just, like, if I go to the store, I make sure I grab, some Kleenex wipes or whatever, the wet wipes to wipe a handle down before I touch it. But like, and me and Joey Gentili were talking actually last week about this, which was the idea of the protesters. And he was sort of just like, let them go. Let them fucking go, dude. Because how are you going to get mad? Because they died. They did the dumb thing that you shouldn't have been doing in the first place. So I'm not going to have sympathy for you. My only point, and ironically, with what your family's going through, I'm more worried about the healthcare worker than I am anybody else by these fuckers' foolishnesses. You know, like I bet every time you see a protest, you think about your mom, you think about, you know, your son and all that kind of stuff, because they're the fuckers that are going to keep this going along. It's without a doubt. If you look at the evidence, it's creepy.
Here, I want to show you something. I've been talking to Pete on and off.
Oh, God. Hello, motherfucker. Oh, I'm going to be Pete. I'm sending him this video.
They're going to have to, like, when they open up, their employees are going to have to wear masks.
Yeah.
So I told Pete, we should get custom-made ones for the funny stop, and I sent him this. I made these up. Let's see if I could find.
Oh yeah, you'll be able to share on screen because you just discovered screen sharing for us. So, Mazel tov.
Here we go.
Bill Stone getting his stuff. I'm gonna take it on him and then put it on me while he's looking. Follow the side angle. Oh yeah, he's looking for something. But I'm going to take this time real quick during the Quarantcast while Bill is sharing something.
Apparently it didn't like the file in it.
Oh, well, then fuck Zoom on that. They don't pay me to be their friend. So, but no, I mean,
we don't like that file.
We don't want those kind of files here now, do we? No, we don't.
I'm gonna take one more shot at this.
Go ahead, brother. It's fun. This is what the best part about this kind of experimentation. I got beer right here, and I can entertain these folks and make myself look like a crooner in 1954. Yeah, but it's the thing with. I want to give some stats real quick since we have some time. I went up on the COVID info center on Facebook. It's usually where I get a lot of my stuff. The U.S. this week.
Here, you'll like this one.
Get over. Oh, there we are. Yay! I can. Oh, there it is. The original cure-all. Oh, relieves insanity or instantaneously and cures headaches. COVID, cold, sneeze, hiccups. Good. Gout.
That's gout.
I can't read right now. Apparently. I don't even know what damp lung is. That's something we don't have in the 50s. That's a weird one. Mumps. Those weird kids with their mumps. How dare they? I love those like old school fucking I love these old school things where it's like we're here. POTUS Trump. Everybody knows that this is the Conestoga wagon. You know, like it's always what I love from those days of like hey, that's kind of funny. I just got a reminder of our own interview that we're doing right now. Yeah. Oh my God, this is utter chaos. This will just be called the chaos episode because it's fun. But yeah, man, it's weird. Everything kind of going on with COVID and and having those these things go on. We finally surpassed 1 million at the time of this recording. And I also read, Bill, are you there?
Oh, I'm here.
There he is. He's screen saving. Whoa! Hello. I am a doctor from 1840. How are you? Welcome to my beak. Would you like to wet it?
That's a plague doctor costume I made like 10 years ago.
That's the tits, dude. Like, that's a bad. I like your like cosplay stuff that you've sent before. And what we'll do is we'll put it on our Instagram, your cosplay stuff, and tag you in it because it's some of the stuff you've shown me in the past is awesome. I love Fat Pool. When you did Fat Pool, that was a good one.
I've done, yeah. I used to design. Ooh, pop in the fire.
Why not?
But no, I got a whole catalog of costumes I've done. I've premiered costumes in New York Comic-Con and other places.
I've
won quite a bit of money doing it too.
I would hope. I mean, your quality of costume, and like I said, we'll put up a gallery of all your stuff because I want to show it off, for sure. I did. I'm always jealous of cosplayers because, like, I've done it in my act where I talk about like really the only cosplaying or LARPing I've ever done is backyard wrestling. Like that's the only kind of shit I've ever done is hit people over the head with real steel chairs because I'm an idiot. And it's I actually sent a friend of mine to the hospital one time, and he got like 4 staples in the back of his head. Hi, John. But like yeah, the actual moments of having those. I did a what was it Wizard World this year, around the time when like COVID was
I
starting.
love that one.
I went, me and my co-host on the Side Angle Wrestling Show, Dan Brown, X Dan Brown on Instagram and danbrowncomedy.com. He and I did a show this year at Wizard World before one of the costume contests. And like to see the people that came into that show who were just there for the costume contest, didn't give a shit that comedy was going on, was I wish I had that creative ability. Like I wish I had that creative ability so much because it's an amazing art to do. Like anytime somebody does Cloud from Final Fantasy VII or does one of those kind of things, it's insane. It's crazy. It's nuts. Bill, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You're not moving.
I got stuck somewhere. There
You're somewhere.
There we go.
Yay! There we are. But no, yeah, man. It's I actually and doing that Wizard where we had cosplayers there for the comedy show and they laughed their dicks off. So I was like, thank God. It's one of the only places where my wrestling nerd joke matters. Where it's like, thank God I have that joke to do at the end.
I'm trying to remember. Did you do Halloween with me up at Grog Shop?
Yeah, I was there for that one. This past one when you did yours, yeah, I was there for that.
That was a blast.
Mm.
I can't wait to do that one again. This
dude.
year, I'm going to make a Bender costume.
Oh, that would be fun. I don't know what I'm going to do this
with
year.
the work. Do you have the working chest piece with the alcohol in it?
You can do that with cardboard. Probably have a shelf on your that's out enough in the stomach if you make the body wide enough. I think so.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably a couple years ago for Melm. I wound up doing. Nobody would have gotten the reference, but I ended up changing it to Amish Mafia. I was False Face. From the Batman 1966 show. Like I grabbed one of those like plastic masks with like makeup on it and whatever. And I went as False Face from the Batman 1966 show. And when I got up on stage, I knew nobody was going to fucking know that reference, especially because that is such a niche reference that only other people could also say that Egghead was played by Vincent Price. Like that's.
Oh, wow.
I'll give you a quick trivia question about Batman 1966. What big-dicked comedian played Louis the Lilac in the Batman Adam West show?
I have no idea.
Famous for having a knee shooter, Milton Berle. Milton Berle was a villain on the Batman TV show, and he played Louis the Lilac. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
It's dude, no. I had a VHS growing up until it broke. My dad had on VHS every Batman 1966 Adam West, or it was my grandfather's. I don't know, my mom's. It could have been anybody's, but I had every episode of Same Bat Time, Same Bat Channel. Like every fucking episode. It was my first exposure to Batman besides 1989's Batman with Michael Keaton, my personal favorite. For sure. Love that. We got into a good conversation the other night before we decided to do this that I still want to talk about because you mentioned like, and I will go on record right now and say I am an Opie and Anthony pest. I was one of the whack baggers, not like the whack baggers of the famous thing, but I was definitely a part of that whole whack bag message board, Opie and Anthony let's shut down a MySpace or a YouTube or a Facebook. But we talked
I
about
was
Bob.
actually a big fan of Opie and Anthony as well. But
Nice.
I love the Bob and Tom show.
And we were talking about some of the Bob and Tom comics that are, and I actually love some of the guys that they've had on there. Guys that I've never met, but guys who really taught me that there's other things beside in redneck comedy or, you know, blue collar comedy.
That's right. You were
Besides
talking
him.
about Rodney Carrington.
One of my favorites.
And have you seen him lately?
Yeah, he's gotten a little bit better, but he's still rough. I saw his last Netflix special and was like,
it looked like that divorce wrecked him.
It destroyed him. He looked like a Madison trailer park dad. Like he looked like he was out in the sticks and just it's kind of funny if you look at those like blue collar guys that kind of came out of there. And I'm not talking like, you know, I am talking about the original blue collar guys, but the guys that they spawned, like a Larry, right. Like a Rodney Carrington. Who's the guy that goes, Hyclak? He's on Bob and Tom a lot. Oh man, no, not Reno Collier. Reno Collier is a comic too. Oh man, he does the thing where he's just like, hey, I'm from Hyclak, North Carolina. You can't really say anything else but Hyclak.
Oh, I know you're talking. I can't think of it.
But you know who I'm talking about. Like, out of all of those, Rodney is sort of like the dude that ended badly. Like the Fall from Grace story, getting his own fucking sitcom.
Oh, yeah. I loved the Rodney Carrington show. I loved his sitcom.
We watched it as a family. It was a great show.
I loved his songs. He was in good shape. He was, you know, and then yeah, he went and messed around and got, you know, his wife left him and everything just kind of spiraled downwards. And holy shit.
It's crazy, dude, because I remember, I think it was like 2014, 2015. No, yeah, probably 2015 when that one special came out where he just looked ridiculously bad. And you're just like, what the fuck happened to you? You were a god. Like, you had the fucking world by the balls. How is Larry the Cable Guy still around? And now you look like this. What the fuck?
Do you remember Larry the Cable Guy before he was Larry the Cable Guy?
When he was on the Ron and Ron show in Florida, you mean? Yeah, when he was Dan Whitney. I remember seeing him on TV as Dan Whitney, but I never like.
He would wear button-up shirts with sleeves.
Yeah, it's weird. It's crazy how that character
talk with the draw or anything like that. You know, no. Geeter done.
What really fucking, and I'm going to use a term broke kayfabe with me with Larry the Cable Guy was he was on O&A and he was on the Ron and Fez show, and he worked with Ron Bennington in Florida on the Ron and Ron show before it became the Ron and Fez show, and then it moved up to the East Coast. But like listening to Larry talk to Ron, like he was just like, yeah, remember that time we were at your club in Florida? And and you're just like, whoa, what the shit, dude? Like Larry's talking like a normal person. He's not like, get her done. I'm like, thank God, man. Because that's where I got an appreciation for Larry the Cable Guy and would wear get her done t-shirts. I would get at fairs, you know?
He found something that worked and he went with it, and I don't blame him. Shit.
Fuck no.
If I could find my golden ticket, you know, my golden gimmick.
And that's what I think all comics like we try and do is we try and find that golden fucking. It's like pro wrestling. I mean, we were talking about pro wrestling before we came on and started recording. But like you find that fucking even like, you know, entertainment in general, like, you know, Daniel Craig is always going to be James Bond. Like he's never not going to be known as James Bond, and nobody will not see him as James Bond.
Well, that's like you talk about wrestling. I'm a big fan of The Rock.
Yeah,
you know, if you think of what The Rock was before he was The Rock, back when he had the perm and he was wearing the tassels. What was he called?
Rocky Maivia was his first
Yeah,
gimmick. Yeah.
right.
That gimmick was just doomed from the fucking start. It was bad. We looking back, the community, we all go like, God damn, that was bad. But thank God it became this.
Like, what was I'm trying to think back. Some wrestlers who changed gimmicks that were from one of the Godfather.
He was Kama, which was like a mixed martial arts character.
Right.
And then here's the best one though, is he ended up being the the first gimmick he ever had in the WWE. He was the voodoo character Papa
Papa
Shango.
Shango. He was Papa Shango, right?
Yeah, dude.
Now, I liked Papa Shango.
I did too. I was a big fan. Like,
but honestly, him and the Godfather and his Ho Train,
yeah,
bigger, way bigger for him than those did.
Oh, for fucking sure. That was the gimmick that like made my dad love Charles Wright. Like, because that's his real name. He actually for a while owned part of the Cheetah Club in Las Vegas, and he was a bouncer there as well. And in the Brawl for All episode, which my Side Angle show will be talking about, the Side Angle Wrestling, there's a scene where the Godfather is talking about going like working security at the Cheetah Club, and Pimp's trying to like get women or whatever strippers to become hoes or whatever. And he's like, if there's any pimps in here in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna push them out of their chairs. And he would chase fucking pimps out of the fucking like strip club and shit. Oh, dude, that guy is awesome. I'll tell a quick little story because I love this fucking story. It's the reason one of my pipes is named after him. It's I do. I have this this green bowl that I smoke with, that I smoke flour out of, and it's got an eye, a blue eye in the middle of the end of the pipe, the actual like bowl part. And he smoked out of that bowl, and I called it Midian because it was a guy in the WWF who had like an eye on his chest and all this shit. As soon as he fucking smoked out of that, as soon as the Godfather smoked out of my bowl and said, "This is some good shit," I immediately changed my bowl's name to the Godfather. I have a bowl named after the fucking that gimmick because I loved that gimmick growing up.
Well, I've never smoked with any wrestlers, but I did have breakfast with the Bushwhackers.
Dude, tell me that story. I want to hear this. Let me put the camera on you and we'll fucking party with that one. Tell that story, Bill Stone.
Okay, you know how there's a lot of these wrestling events that come in and out of towns. You got those multicolored posters. You know, it's real like low rent kind of backyard almost. But
I'll stop you right there. Those are actually local shows. Those are good, like shows I go to. Usually they're run in a gym, like
right.
Like,
there's nothing wrong with them. It's just it's not big production stuff.
No.
They, every now and then they have they bring in some good good acts well, the Bushwhackers were in town doing one of these events, and I used to hang out at Denny's from like 11 till like 6 in the morning playing cards with my buddies. Back in the day when you could still smoke inside.
Yes, the good old days.
And one night it's about 4 in the morning, and my buddy goes, "Hey, those two guys over there look like Bushwhackers." And I'm like, "They don't look like it. They are the Bushwhackers. I'm positive it's them." And I just went over because I didn't give a shit. And I said, "Listen," I go, I won't be pest. I go, but I'm a huge fan, and I just wanted to come over and say hi. And they were like, "Pull up a chair, have some breakfast."
Which one?
They brought my food to their table, and we had we had bacon and flappies, and just shot the shit for like almost 2 hours.
Dude, and those guys, like, if you look back at the history before they were the Bushwhackers, when they were known as the Sheep Herders, those fucking guys, by the time they had gotten into WWE and gotten the Bushwhackers gimmick, I guarantee you, like, Google the Sheep Herders in like the 70s. They have matches with like flaming boxes, metal boxes that they're like that barbed wires going through, and they're like shoving their faces into like fiery hot fucking shit. They're nuts. By the time they got to the fucking WWF, they were probably like, "Oh, thank Jesus, we don't have to do a lot. Thank you, God."
Yeah, sadly, it was all pre-cell phone.
Yeah,
this happened. This was back in my late teens, early 20s. But I did they both licked my forehead.
Nice. You got the mark, brother. You got the fucking mark. I love it.
It would have been the best picture ever.
Fuck yeah, dude. I had a time where I had the pleasure of sitting next to the Iron Sheik at a wrestling show in Painesville at a roller rink.
Dude, hands down, the camel clutch was my favorite move when I was a kid.
Yeah, that one was up there along with Flair with the figure 4. I was actually, if I didn't have to do laundry and my Flair shirt was clean or dry, I would have wore that on this episode because I love that shirt. But like it was funny because this was like height of like Sheiky baby doing pills, right? Like, and I'm, oh God, I think I'm 12 at this time, 2012, 2003, maybe 2004. And we go to this show, and Sheik, it has his gimmick table set up, and I have one of those old LJN figures. You remember those, right? Those fucking,
it's like solid rubber.
Yeah, you could stop a mugging with them. They were so solid. Yeah.
You could literally beat your brother to death with one.
Oh yeah, if your brother wanted to go for your balls, congratulations, you're now sterile. Like they don't exist. You're one of those guys in Game of Thrones, the eunuchs.
The best thing was having the wrestling ring and like taking them and putting the ropes between their legs and pulling it back like a bow and arrow, like a slingshot.
Yeah.
I hit my friend in the eye and gave him a black eye with one. I think it was with the top of Hulk Hogan's head. Just boo.
Oh my God. And what was funny was like when I was that young, you know how like people like to take advantage of fucking kids. And I'm not saying Sheik, he was not in his right mind at the time. So I'm not saying people, if you've had addictions, you understand. But it was hilarious because he saw me, he saw the LJN figure, and just looking back on it, you saw dollar signs like flopping out of his fucking head of like, I'm going to steal this motherfucker. That's how I'm going to do this. And he fucking, I like the whole show, intermission, he's kind of like, I'm trying to get my fucking toy back and the autographed and all this stuff, and he's giving me the runaround, right? Finally, he goes, sit next to Sheiky, baby. Sit next to Sheiky. Fucking 12 years old. I'm sitting next to a WWF champion, the guy who beat Bob Backlund. For fuck's sake. The man who and then my dad, who's like 6'6", 260, comes over to me and like goes, and he looks just like me, so I can do the face perfectly. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what? And she just pats me on the shoulder and goes, I love your boy, great kid. I love him. I have him sit next to me until the beginning of show, until the show restart. And my dad just gives this face of just, and walks the fuck away. I'm like, what the fuck? This is the craziest day of my life.
You said WWF.
Yeah.
And I just was thinking about this yesterday. How much bullshit was it truly for the World Wildlife Foundation to take that away from them?
I've never actually discussed this on a podcast, and Bill, I appreciate you bringing it up. I was, oh God, that was like 2005. It was like 2005, because that was when the Ruthless Aggression era started with like John Cena was just first coming up. And one day, I'll never forget this as long as I live. And I think this is going to be a subject, as sort of a subject on Side Angle fully. So more of a discussion can be had. But my side of the story was one day, all of a sudden, there was this vignette of somebody cutting the WWF logo into a bush hedge, like that you would see on like the east side or west side of a town, like suburban fucking hedge. And then it was set on fire and the F was removed. And that was how it happened. Literally, Friday Night SmackDown happens and the WWF is dead. It's the WWE. They changed their names over fucking night. And it was one of the craziest moments ever because you're just like, wait, why the fuck? And then they'd say what it was. Taz, I believe, the wrestler Taz, former ECW champion, and AEW commentator. I'd love to get a hold of him and have him on my show. But he had he was like, yeah, apparently we lost a fight to a panda bear. And I was like, what? And then found out that fucking they did. They lost a lawsuit, a trademark lawsuit, to the WWF or to the World Wildlife Fund.
I say, and that's the thing. I will never, ever, ever refer to the World Wildlife Foundation as WWF.
No, I never have. For it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Growing up, if you said WWF, you immediately thought wrestling.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the World Wildlife Foundation was always the World Wildlife Foundation. And it only happened because of the .com era.
Well, and also, and I will say in the World Wildlife Foundation's defense, WWF at the time was doing some of their more, I would say, raunchier stuff, like bra and panties matches. Like that was a function in a WWF video game. Okay. Bra and panties matches were a function. You could remove a woman's clothes in a WWF game. Like people forget this shit. And it's hilarious to me. How like people
it just should have never happened.
No. But again, in the World Wildlife Foundation's defense, I get why they did it, but as a wrestling fan and as a guy who worked in wrestling for a very short time on the independent level of like literally Northeast Ohio, it was definitely something.
Nothing will be cooler ever than the metallic WWF logo.
I'm gonna disagree with you, and this comes from my knowledge more than it does anything else when it comes to pro wrestling. That old school where it was like the World Wrestling Federation, the world's leader in sports. That was a great era in the early 90s, even though they were sort of on the downslide and would come back up in 97. My favorite wrestling logo of all time, where he's, oh my God, he's fighting. Oh my God, he's trying to get the fire. We got fire. We got fire. Oh my God, Kane is burning. Kane is burning.
Okay.
Do you want to know what's fucking weird, though, as a wrestling fan? And you'll laugh at this. The fact that there's been a few mayors and a few governors who have been professional wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
Kane is, speaking of, is the mayor of Knox County, and he was on CNN today. My friend sent me a photo of Kane talking about Knox County, Tennessee, where he's the mayor.
Did you hear in Tennessee they opened up restaurants?
Yes, and Georgia as well. Georgia, they've seen a spike today as of recording, which is 428. We'll give that.
Oh yeah, they were saying the jump in Tennessee after the first day was really big.
It makes me it makes me angry because you look at this and it's like, yeah, I get that you kind of have to go out and live your life and all this stuff. But it should be one of these things where it's like the people who can work from home should be working from home. And if you're like a line worker or you're an inspector at like a metal factory or something, I can understand you going back to work because that's an essential thing. But right. People who can work from home who have executive positions who are bitching, y'all need to fucking shut the fuck up or go see your side bitch. Like
Yeah, like I said, my job's purely workable from home right now, and I know soon they're going to make me go back to the office. And I'm like, why? If we're holding it down perfectly well with what we're doing right now, just leave it like that. Just
yeah.
leave it. You know what? Be better safe than sorry.
My thing is, if you're a production worker and you can wear a mask, and we know a lot of people who work in, like factory positions and stuff like that, and who have to be physically on the job. I get that. But to be like, if you're a salesperson, if you're an executive in any level of a company, fucking work from home, leave the office fucking to gather dust, and let the fucking guys and gals who need to be in the factory doing stuff to make stuff and be able to do their job. People are I think the people that are bitching more are the people who, one, got laid off. That's perfectly fine. Furloughed, understand. But like executives who are bitching need to shut the fuck up.
My wife's furloughed right now. She's the job she does revolves around trade shows.
Yeah.
Nobody's out having trade shows right now.
No way. And that's something I can understand in your aspect, because it's what it is. But like those people who are like, oh, let me out, I guarantee you those people are the people who have also never weren't latchkey kids. Let's just say that. I think they were in band, football, and possibly chess club their entire lives.
What do you think of the protesters that it's like their default is, bringing their guns and standing? It's like, are you going to shoot the virus? Are you?
It's, to be honest, those are the people who, pull their guns out in a bar fight to begin with. I mean, those are the assholes who ruin things for this is all. I've always had this thought process of, because it's always happened to me where if I've gotten caught, it's gotten ruined for everybody. Or if you've seen it in different things in school, same thing, which is one bad apple spoils the fucking bunch. I mean, that's all it really is. These are the bad apples. These are the idiots who don't understand that, like, yeah, it's gonna suck, but also, we need to. I mentally prepared myself for a year. Fuck, why not? I mean, let's just sit there, and I have the internet, and I can do whatever I want. Like I can watch as much shit. Isn't this a dream of ours? Really, if you thought about it, remember when you were a kid and you were like, I can do anything I want right now. This is the perfect time for that.
Yeah, it is. It's a catch-22. It's like you said, when you were younger, it like how nice would it be? Because here's the thing, I will say, as much as I'd love to go back to being able to go to Chili's,
Yeah,
get a 3 for $10, and and go sit in a movie theater and watch a movie. Being here, spending the time with my family,
yeah,
has been good. It tests you at times.
yes. That's always a thing, though, my friend. That's all. I had a thing where I drove from where I'm at right now to Conneaut, all the way on the eastern end of the state, and then drove around the steel yard in Cleveland because I just had enough. I was like,
oh wait, I think I got a picture here for you, real quick.
oh boy, we got pictures.
Okay, I recently drove up to Sandusky, Ohio.
Yes, I did that. I went through Sandusky actually. At the weekend of the shutdown, or weekend before the shutdown, I was driving to Michigan. Me and my friend spent a couple hours up there for supplies, and then we kind of did our thing. And it was an interesting experience too, to see that, because Michigan hadn't done their thing yet. And when we were driving up where we were driving, it was definitely an interesting time, kind of just seeing every little movement and every little thing. And luckily, though, Michigan, they were wonderful people. A lot of deer, so it's probably season already for that. But yeah, to the people.
I thought I had a picture from the lighthouse I was at
Oh, and you don't? I'm sad. Oh,
Hold on.
about it. About it, sir. But yeah, it's been a this
Here
whole
we
thing
go.
has just been interesting. There we are. There's the screen share. Oh God, is that the beginning of a Slipknot video? What is that? Jesus.
It's going to be the cover of my first comedy album.
Oh God.
No, I had another picture, and I can't find it, of me pointing to the Cedar Point in the background.
Oh yeah.
And I'm actually kind of happy about this. So last year in August, I bought season passes for my family to Cedar Point.
I know so many people, by the way, before you continue, that did that, and now they can't.
And we went from August to the end of the season through Halloween weekends. We went a total of 12 times.
Okay.
And in about 2.5 months. And so that more than paid for the 5 passes. So the passes are for this year. Obviously, we're probably not going to get to go till midsummer.
Yeah.
But Cedar Point's already announced that everybody who had those passes are all good for next year as well.
Nice. Good on them, man. I love Cedar Point. I miss that place, dude.
That is balls, man. That is awesome. It's like I get a whole nother year of it.
Yeah. I mean, you made the investment, and wasn't it where if you spent like, if it wasn't if you bought like a day pass or something, you got a pass or something like that, or if you paid like $50
you could upgrade your day pass because at the time the deal was it was $99.
Okay, yeah.
And so we bought 5 of them, and like I said, we went to Halloween weekends like 4 or 5 times, and in August we went several times, and then this year they were since they're going to open up late, they were like, well, we'll make it up to season pass holders and we'll find extra days to open up. And then it turned around and then they were just like, you know what? You're going to get a whole nother year. I'm like, hell yes. Good investment.
Oh yeah, dude. And I've always wanted that thing, but I could never afford it. But at the same time, like that's a place that I'm probably gonna go back. I actually went to. It's funny. I went to Kalahari in January, like right before all of this shit like popped off. And
here's what you need to do: instead of getting the $100 pass, you need to invest in the $200 platinum pass.
Okay,
we used to do those. That pass gets you into any park owned by Cedar Fair. Ooh. That gets you into Cedar Point, Kings Island, all the parks over in Pennsylvania that are owned by them, like Dorney Park.
Yeah.
All the ones up in Canada. They own Knott's Berry Farm in California.
Really? I didn't know that.
So if you buy that $200 platinum pass, any park they own, you get into for that price. Plus, it's all free parking and food discounts.
Ooh, I might have to try that after all this is over.
So, it was expensive to do for a family. That's why we went with the $100 pass, because the $100 pass just gets us Cedar Point and the water park and the free parking and the food discounts. But if it's just you, you're just doing it for you, go all out, man, and then make it, because it's great. Because if you're out of state and you're in a place like, if you're over PA and you're near a place where they own a park, just go to the park and hang out. Matter of fact, Dorney Park over in PA is where the Demon Drop lives now.
Really?
Yeah. Smoke.
Oh boy. He's dying.
Yeah, they didn't get rid of the Demon Drop. They just moved it to another park, and it lives in PA now.
Yeah, I know it got like disassembled and moved. I just didn't know what park it was. I'm gonna have to check that out, because I think the last time I was on that, I was like 18, and that was when like they were really starting to like decommission a lot of that stuff. I can remember when I was 18 going and what do they call the Mantis now? Whatever they call that. I remember the Maverick was new.
Here, I'm going to leave you with a little Cedar Point, Ohio trivia before I go.
All right. Yes.
What famous football player, or more famous for coaching, and and was part of the reason we have the forward pass, was a lifeguard at Cedar Point.
Oh God. I don't know. I give up. I tap out, sir. Oh no, we lost Bill. We lost Bill for a second. He's gone.
I'm here.
Newt Rockney was a thing at Cedar. Was a really
Newt Rockney was a lifeguard at Cedar Point in the off seasons when he wasn't playing football while he was in college.
Yeah,
he would go. Yeah, he would go and play, and they would train at Cedar Point at the park, and he would also work there as a lifeguard. Because back then it was just a park with a beach. So yeah, they used it as a training facility. Plus, he'd work there as a lifeguard.
I did not know that. Bill Stone throwing down some history facts. I love it. I love it, man. All right, my friend. This is the end of yet another Quarantcast. I would like to thank Bill Stone. Bill, tell them everything you do right now so they can go and make sure they love you on everything you do as well. Tell them about what your social media handles are and everything like that, sir.
Well, I got one social media handle, and that's at Comic Bill Stone, symbol Comic Bill Stone, and that's all across the board for all social media. And throughout the week, if you feel like it, around 7 o'clock in the evening, I do a cooking show called Cooking and Drinking with at Comic Bill Stone. So you could, if you see it on, you could tune in, see what I'm drinking and mixing, what kind of quarantinis we're having, and I'll teach you how to make a meal for your family.
Sweet. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you being on this. I am your host, Ray Hyclak. Sorry. What'd you say? My bad.
I appreciate you, Ray.
I appreciate you too, my friend. I'm Ray Hyclak. You can catch me at Ray Hyclak. You can follow Quarantcast _CLE and also the Side Angle Network. And you will be able to see all of these on my YouTube, Ray Hyclak. And thank you guys very much. I want to again thank Bill Stone for being my guest on the Quarantcast. And you guys stay safe out there and have a great week.